Hey guys, how's it going? It is your boy, Manga Man Drew, and I'm here to do my review of One Piece Manga Chapter 1059, titled The Captain Kobe Incident. And there is a lot to go over in this chapter, and by the title of this chapter, a main focus is obviously going to be on Kobe, but that's not even the half, the fourth, the third, the 10th of what happens in this chapter. There's so much to talk about, so let's go over pretty much everything from the beginning. And let's start off with a quick cover of the cover page, or a quick look at the cover page, where we're just getting to see both Oven and Katakuri punching themselves in the face because apparently they are hallucinating thanks to Caesar's gas. So this is very interesting. Most likely we're going to be getting the Germa 666 escaping while Katakuri and Oven are fighting each other. They may eventually break out of it and go after them, go after Caesar, but that's something that we're going to have to wait to see. But the major parts of this chapter is just coming in blow after blow, starting off with a major reveal of where Marco the Phoenix went. He apparently hitched a ride on Shanks's ship, which may be the actual reason why Shanks came to Wano, to pick up, you know, the bird boy himself, Marco. But we get even something more interesting, because as you have Shanks asking Marco to join his crew, we actually get a mini flashback that explains why Yamato stayed on the island, and that even though they wanted to go out to sea and sail with Luffy and technically be a part of his crew, Yamato decided to stay on Wano for the most obvious reason: to protect Wano. They saw that what was going on and what was happening was that anyone can invade Wano at any time, and they need strong individuals to protect them and to protect the people of Wano. So Yamato decided on their own fruition, or on their own belief, that they will be the ones to stay in Wano, and that the reasoning why they made up this excuse, which is still in line with something that they would do, the excuse that they will travel around Wano, is actually because Yamato is going to stay on Wano to protect it, and didn't really want oh my gosh, how am I forgetting his name? Didn't want the Shogun of Wano, Momonosuke, to worry about what is going on. So this makes sense, and in reality, Yamato traveling around the country is very in line with what Oden did, going around the country, making sure everyone is safe, and that's kind of what Yamato is doing. So unfortunately, this is something that many people have been criticizing my One Piece for what happened with Yamato, and it just is hilarious that Oda was like, oh yeah, these criticisms, yeah, I'm going to wipe them away with the next chapter. So I think a lot of criticisms that people had about Yamato and why they were staying at Wano were not really valid, and is proven to be really valid to the 0 degree with this chapter. And we also get a few callbacks to what happened during Marineford, with both Luffy thanking Marco for saving him back there, as we also get interactions between Jinbei and Marco. So that was a fun interaction. So this chapter starts off with like a big, massive reveal that kind of retroactively, if not fixes what happened at the end of Wano, kind of alleviates the issues that many people may have had with Yamato's character in this chapter, by us literally seeing what happened and seeing the conversation that Luffy and Yamato had that we didn't see the last few chapters. So that's something interesting about this chapter. But what is even more interesting about this chapter is that we get a flashback to what happened a few weeks prior, when everything around the world went up in flames, and that this is where we're going to be focusing on Kobe, but more specifically focusing on Boa Hancock, because there are some massive reveals that comes into fruition when it comes to when the Marines decided to invade and capture Hancock after the warlord system fell apart. And to pretty much sum up everything that happened, we get the reveal of the new individuals that are replacing Kuma, as well as the 7 warlords. We get to see Blackbeard coming into the fray, going after the devil fruit that is held by Boa Hancock. We get to see Kobe trying to go up against these emperors. We get the reveal that Rayleigh is coming to stop this incident, very similarly to what happened with Shanks. And we also get the reveal of what Shaki's relationship is to both Rayleigh as well as the Island of Women, as she was also a former emperor of this island. And that doesn't even count the fact that Kobe apparently gets captured by Blackbeard, and that when it comes to the new PX systems, that they apparently look like other people that we've seen in the story, such as Boa Hancock, and that they are more or less representations of not just cyborgs, but potentially clones, but also related to, if I remember correctly, King's race. The dark skins, the flames on their backs, the wings, yeah, they are pretty much reminiscent of King's race, meaning that there's a lot that goes on in this chapter. And I pretty much summed up what happened, but there's just so much that we need to get into. For instance, we get to see a lot of cool action with Kobe in this chapter, really getting to show why Kobe is considered a hero, and that he is willing to stand up not just to Blackbeard, but also against Boa Hancock, and that when everyone else around him gets turned into stone, even Helmeppo, because of course he would, he's the only one that is unaffected by Boa Hancock, which is very interesting. But in this chapter, we just get to see a little bit more about these characters and how they're able to get out of the situation relatively unscathed. Yes, Rayleigh did have to come to pretty much make sure that everything goes off without a hitch, and that Boa Hancock survives this fight, but we do get to see a lot of cool interactions between Boa Hancock, Blackbeard, and Kobe. And we get to see that Kobe is a lot smarter than we would give him credit for, but the same can be said about Blackbeard and Boa, because there was just this small moment of just mind tricks and like mind games where one character is trying to convince the other character to try and release Boa Hancock or try to leave the island. So there's a lot of trickery in play because many characters realize that they may not necessarily be strong enough to go up against the other. And even in this chapter, it is revealed that potentially, even though Rayleigh is a very powerful fighter, that even he may not be able to go up against Blackbeard in this fight with all of the Navy soldiers around him, and that the best that he can do is pretty much mitigate the damages going on, but even he was unable to stop these individuals that have the power of King inside of him. So there's like a whole bunch of stuff that we need to talk about, and let's even focus a little bit more on like King, because this is something that we've been wondering. The purpose of King's race. Why King Lunarian? That's the word I'm looking for. We get to see that these new PX individuals not only look like Boa Hancock, look like King, look like other individuals, but that they also are potentially part Lunarian, and that most likely what was happening is that the experimentations on the Lunarians eventually led to these new individuals being PX. And what makes this even worse and even more messed up is the fact that these PX are just children, and that this is something that is extremely strategic, but is also very much in line with what the Navy, the Marines were willing to do, the world government has known to do, literally taking children and making them into literal fighting, killing machines. Literally. So what does this mean for the Lunarians? Are these actual children? Are they clones? We do know cloning exists in the One Piece world. Could it be a type of situation where you take some strong individuals, mix in Lunarian DNA, and then turn them into cyborgs or robots? Potentially that's what's going on in this chapter, and that's something else that we can really talk about. But something else that I really didn't bring up is the reveal of Shaki and her relationship to the Kingdom of Women, and that it is revealed that her true name is Shakuyaku, or Shaki, or Shakyu. I cannot pronounce her name. Shakuyaku, and how she was a former empress of Amazon Lily. And this could just be even more confirmation that she and, you know, the Dark King are in a relationship, because the only way that you can leave this island is if you get love sickness and yeah, I think this may be confirmation of that. But yeah, that's also some interesting information that was revealed in this chapter. And once again, Kobe has been abducted by Blackbeard. So where is this going to lead to? I think this is most likely going to be getting the attention of Luffy. Not only did Blackbeard attack an island of an ally via Boa Hancock, but has also captured a friend of Luffy. So this is going to lead to something crazy going on in the future. And also something else that, once again, I didn't bring up. We do get the bounties of, I do believe, of Blackbeard as well as Boa Hancock. Boa Hancock is 1,659,000,000 berry, while Blackbeard, Marshall D. Teach, is 3,996,000,000. So their bounties have been increased, specifically with Blackbeard. But yeah, this is all I really have to say about this chapter for now. I think that this was a crazy chapter because we get a lot of stuff revealed in this chapter, a lot of stuff that is sort of fixing what were issues with the last chapter and just building up more to come in the future involving character interactions, where characters are, and what's going to be involved in pretty much the final fight, because I think this is sort of a glimpse or a taste of what's to come in the next few chapters and in this final saga. And if this is what we have to look forward to, I am excited to be a One Piece fan right now. So yeah, this is all I really have to say about the chapter. What did you think of the chapter? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Was it everything that you expected after this 2-week break? Leave your thoughts down in the comments down below. Leave a like on the video if you liked it. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this. Do all that cool jazz. And hopefully, I'll be able to catch you in my next video. Goodbye!